Give it up, y'all, for my guest, the one and only Miss Angela Stanton.
This never works out well for you.
Yes, it does.
Okay, let's do it.
Well, we'll talk about it.
All right.
Or I might just be a glutton for punishment. Is that what it is?
Well, I don't know, maybe. But thanks for having me on your show. Again,
right. Of course. I'm DC. I ain't scared of nothing.
Okay.
But let me tell you, let's do a little recap of the last show. It was festive, if I'm gonna say the least. Now, you know, you and them Trumpers, boy, y'all are ravaging, man. You Negroes off the chain. Y'all was just, like, here's my thing. I don't mind disputing something, but when people be saying, like, come on, vulgarity.
listen, I don't.
Hoe ass, fucking gump ass, nigga, bitch ass.
I don't agree with the vulgarity. Neither do I agree with referring to everyone who disagreed with you as a Trumper. Most of them are people that just have, good common sense. So I wouldn't label them as a Trumper.
Okay.
I myself, I'm independent, so you can't just label me to the Republican Party. I'll always be for Trump and RFK, but it was more about common sense than a particular party.
Well, some of them, okay, you're right, the vulgarity. So what's funny was I had it open for comments, but then the comments got all ridiculous with I don't mind you not liking me, I'm cool with that, but when it comes to what I'm talking about, when it comes to the vulgarity and hoe ass, like, come on, y'all, that's a lowbrow type of, response to me comment. So I cut it off, and then, I cut it back on again, and when I thought my friend was like, nah, fucking cut it back on. I cut it back in, and I was like, oh, this is a change. Then I realized when I cut it off, it bothered people. Something about social media, if they can't comment on something, they lose it. They went on other clips of you and I together, smaller ones, why you blockers, motherfucker? And they're like, whoa. I'm like, is it bothering you? And when I found out it was bothering them, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed knowing it bothered them. So I feel like sometimes, the common sense people that voted for Trump have lost their fucking mind.
I think it goes both ways, and I think that the attacks come from both sides. I don't agree with the profanity either. I think that we should be able to have conversations like you and I do, which help broaden perspectives of all people. So I'll kind of leave it at that. I sent you a personal text because I started feeling some type of way because you and I are friends. And I think a lot of people really don't understand how smart you are. You know how to keep your platform without getting censored. And we just need more of that. We need people that are willing to bring the opposing view onto their set, have that conversation, and let the people decide for themselves.
Right. No, you're right. And people just feel like, like, why would my show work if I always agree with everybody?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That doesn't work, Sometimes you got to play the anti-hero just to understand or get your point of view, or maybe sometimes I didn't agree. And like you said, but yeah, like I said, they don't know that me and your friends. I don't know why they thought we were enemies. And let me tell you something. Some of my homeboys, I thought they were my homeboys. They were sending me the clips that you put out. You put a clip out, I didn't really, I'll be honest with you, I didn't look at it, but it obviously was slanted towards your way because obviously people went off, yes, just as nice.
The comments are on. People can speak for themselves.
Hold on, don't do that because, hold on, I'm a good guy now. You called me one time and told me to change the title, and I did that for you because you ain't like the way it was slanted.
What do that got to do with
because I was,
show?
I could have been like, no, I ain't changing nothing. It's going to be what it's going to be. But I ain't that type of person. But back to what I'm going to say, I had friends of mine who found glee and happiness in that and sent me that. And I was like, nigga, I'm not fucking with you no more. If that's no, we have a friendship, and you don't talk to me, you don't call me. I haven't heard from you in 6 months, and you want to show me the clip like, she got you, she cooked you, nigga. We don't even talk no more. And they know who they are. It's a couple of them. I'm not gonna deal with that. If you ain't my real friend at that point, no.
And that's the problem with politics, which is why I stepped away from both the Republican and the Democrat Party and decided that I wanted to become independent because I am tired of the divide. You know what I'm saying? Just a simple clip. Got two friends, you know what I'm saying, say, hey, we're not going to talk to each other, or we got, families breaking apart, or, you know what I'm saying, siblings. It's just, it doesn't make any sense that we're that divided over politics or different ideologies that we're willing to sever relationships. I think that I really wish they could do away with the two-party system as a whole, and we could all come together collectively and just start making decisions on, what's best for our country. Because I think at the end of the day, when we get through with all the arguing, because even the numerous shows that you and I have had, and you've had opposing views and I've had too, the one thing we always agreed on is we want to help mothers and children. We've never had an argument about that. How we get there may be different, right?
Sure.
But we've never had an argument about what the ultimate goal is. And so I think that you and I are kind of like a perfect example to our society, Democrat, Republican, whatever, like we family, you know what I'm saying? It don't matter what side of the aisle I'm on when I go in. I've said this 1,000 times and people see I have receipts. I'm advocating for what I know, and what I know is the black family.
Right. I agree with that. And here's the thing I say, me and you are able to agree to disagree.
Right.
And still be cordial and friendly. I mean, when you call, you put money in my pocket, you book me on stuff that you've done. So,
right.
But it's a shame how, like you said, politics sometimes make people divide on a hard line, even such a strong hard line where it's like, whatever. So it's got, all right. So I decided to bring you back because I wanted to do something called 5 topics.
Yeah.
So I have 5 topics I want to talk about. And
now,
you have 5
hold
topics.
up. PSA, he was supposed to send me these topics. He did not send me these topics. He waited good until I got here. So this might be a setup, but let's go.
No.
Let's go. Let's go.
You're absolutely right. Where's my topics? Did you send
I got them.
Did you send them to me?
You didn't send me yours?
All right, you didn't send me yours.
All right, let's go.
Okay,
let's do it.
You ain't like you innocent.
Hey.
Okay? So let's not do that.
This your show.
Now, this won't be all in the same subject. I got 3 totally, a couple of different subjects.
Let's go.
All right, here we go. Topic number 1 is your former boy doing a good job?
Trump?
Yes.
Now, see, I knew this was going to go political. Like,
well, hold on, we have other stuff, but we have to do that.
Hey, if you ask me,
yes,
I would have to say absolutely. If you ask the average American that voted for him, absolutely. If we are focusing on things that are making America great, and not just using that slogan as something with the racist tone, but just saying, hey, I'm an American. I live here. My businesses is here. My children go to school here. My ancestors are buried on this land, right? For America, it works if your focus is America. If your focus is everybody else, then you might have a different perspective.
When you say everybody else, what's that mean, everybody else?
Anybody that's a non-citizen. You might be advocating for illegal immigration.
Right.
Or you might be advocating for babies to be aborted.
Right.
Or you might be advocating for children to be sexually transitioned. Like, I don't know what that is, but everything that I've seen within this administration is coming against that and overturning that. And I think that when we, again, get away from the political divide, get away from we hate this man. Like, if it wasn't Trump and if it was, let's just say if it was Obama doing the same exact thing, would we feel some type of way?
Well, it's kind of funny you say that. First, I'm going to say Obama wouldn't do that, first of all. He wouldn't do that. It's not even in his ilk. So, we have to talk about who's here and who we knew was coming here to do this. I just feel like I live in the D.C. area, the DMV, the metropolitan D.C. area. A lot of people are nervous, knees shaking about their jobs, losing their jobs. And some people will say, well, it's overspending. People who don't care about people losing jobs are people who already have jobs, jobs. Let me be honest. I haven't met one person who lost their job and said, that's right, it's time to get rid of some of our jobs, and they lost their job. So the people who are advocating and feeling okay with people losing their job are the ones who have a job. Now, they might say, well, you're spending overage. We're spending overage money. We're spending but you know what? That money, let's say you have a job that wasn't, I'm making it up, a security guard job at a building that had 7 guards working at a time, when you only really need 4 or 2. But you know what? Those 3 extra guards are paying for parking, groceries, all this other stuff that keeps society moving. You take that money out, and please don't tell me it's going back to my pocket, the average person. They'll find a way to spread it some other way, maybe send more money out to another country or whatever the case may be. So losing these jobs, I think, okay, overspending is crazy, but it depends on how you look at it as far as people losing their jobs.
Let me hop in for a minute, and let's just have a reality check for a minute here in the panic room. Every 4 years with any switch of power, there's a change in administration. People lose their jobs. Like, we sat back and watched several people lose their jobs that was working for Trump when Joe Biden got in. It's just an exchange of power, and you have the right, when you win an election, to bring in your own team, the people that you believe are going to execute, what you want to put in place. So every 4 years, there's a transition of power. In regards to what's going on at the top, my personal opinion, because I'm not the advisor when it comes to what's going on with taxes or anything like that. My expertise is maternal health and what's happening in the black community and how we can uplift the black community. But what I've seen them go after the power structures and not after the people. Like when Joe Biden was in, they hired 80,000 IRS workers to investigate the American citizens that had over $600 in their account, right? So they hired 80,000 IRS workers to come after us, the average everyday American citizen that's paying their money to keep this country going. Elon went in and went after the IRS. He didn't come after us. So I don't have an issue with that. And if they believe that there is corruption within us, like I can't remember the name of those forms they were saying that every small business owner was gonna have to fill out by the first of the year. If they are concerned and believe that there could be corruption in the everyday American citizen, why can't we believe that there is some corruption within our government, which we all know that is?
Without a doubt.
One more thing, Secretary Brooke Rollins, right? She's over USDA. One of the grants that she canceled, right, was $1 million grant that was going to an institution that was teaching them about how to sexually transition children. Now this one I'm saying.
I get that.
I get that my ass.
If you a security guard,
if you are one of them security guards working in that department that is teaching children, teaching people how.
What about the other million
casualties
jobs?
of war, my guy.
Oh, really?
Casualties of war, my guy.
Okay,
casualties
but
of war.
like you said,
it happens every 4 years.
No, 4 years they change. Who's in the White House and all that running the government.
And the administration changes well.
But they don't get rid of 100,000 jobs here, 100,000 jobs, 80,000 jobs here. No, they don't. They do not.
Hey, it depends on who's running the department, and there are a lot of things that
Trump
happen
asked to
that
cut
we
people, and then,
don't hear about. But let's
how
go here.
Elon Musk help run the country?
Let's go
Elon
here.
Musk, that's South African?
African American. That's why y'all need to stop that shit talking about black people, African Americans. That's a real African American. But hear me out for 1 second.
He's an American?
He's an American citizen that migrated from Africa. His white ass is an African American. So y'all can stop labeling us African Americans. But let's talk about this.
I ain't mad about that.
When it comes to government dependency, right? Our community, I'm really, really big on us not being dependent on the government, not just in the instance of them being able to cut off a job, but if some people from our community are welfare dependent, like the government can press a button at any moment. We learned this during COVID, right? Regardless of who's in power, because Joe Biden was in power when COVID hit and they shut down all of our businesses. Everything was shut down.
Joe Biden wasn't in when
yes,
COVID
he was.
hit?
When they demanded that we were 6 feet apart and wear masks.
You mean
we're
the
fact check.
Hold on.
Okay,
Trump,
he wasn't in when COVID hit, but he passed the mandate.
You just said it.
Okay, I'm correcting myself.
All right.
But he was the one that passed the mandates.
Yeah.
He was the one that shut down our businesses.
He's the one told us not to drink bleach.
He was the one that shut down our businesses. He was the one that said we couldn't sit 6 feet apart. But listen,
Trump dropped the ball.
Everything was shut down except the abortion clinic. They didn't have to sit 6 feet apart in there. Okay.
I get that.
How did we survive? We need to be taught, right, how to survive without government dependency. And even if you have a job and you are dependent on the government every day for your pay, you still need to have some type of skilled entrepreneur, especially our single mamas out here, to know how to keep going in case somebody presses, hey, I work with government contracts, okay? At any button, somebody can say, we not sending funding to Auntie Angie's house. What I got to do? I serve an entire community. I got to come on your show and I got to beg our community to support me. Now, our community does step up and those $5 and those $10 help, but it doesn't help me reach the goal that I need to reach with government
funding. It's a
funding.
damn shame that black people have 2 jobs and white people don't.
And listen,
white people have to hustle the same way.
It don't matter what administration is in, I have issues with getting funding for my cause, okay?
Okay.
So I just think at the end of the day, Republican, Democrat, independent, whatever, I'm tired of the political divide. Are we doing what's right by the American people? And I am not happy about anyone losing their job. But if we are saying, hey, we've sent all of this money, spending on this program, and you're a person that's teaching something that's in that field and you lost your job, you don't need to be teaching our kids how to sexually transition anyway.
Okay, that one, but they're wiping out a lot of people more than just that one situation. There's a lot of jobs.
I mean, we read
I'm
that
in
in
the
the
DMV
news,
area.
but we read that in the news, but I'd like to hear from these people
asking
personally.
everybody to take out a couple hundred.
Because a lot of this shit just
take
be media hype.
and
Like,
leave.
where are all the people? Because last we heard first, now you got Simone on MSNBC talking about they about to ship all the black people out of the country if we don't close the border or do something about the border
Lord.
the deportation laws that Trump is passing. Like, we hear things in the media, and then what I do is I look for truth. Like, if you telling me that all of these people are losing their jobs, let's hear from these people. So Trump and his administration can hear directly from these people versus what's going on in the media. If you're telling me that all of these women, hold on, if you're telling me that all of these, because I want to hear from the people that are being impacted versus the influencers that are controlling the media. If you're telling me that
I'm telling you what people, I'm in the DMV, I'm by the government people.
Well, then you need to bring them on the show.
Okay,
I
will.
If you're telling me that all of these women need to have abortions because of rape,
No,
but I don't never see the rapists on TV getting locked up, then that shit ain't adding up.
Okay, I agree with that, but we keep going to abortions.
What's your next topic?
When there's so many other subjects. No, we ain't gonna just jump off mine and go run 1 second, 1 moment. Nah, too many people lose. We're not in eggs costing a ridiculous amount of money.
Please don't
all
talk to me
that
about
kind of
these
shit.
damn eggs.
Your boy is rap. Your boy is off the chain.
Listen.
I don't eat eggs, so I don't give a fuck. But I'm talking for those who eat eggs. But all right.
I'm so tired of that.
All right.
Egg.
Go ahead. Give me a subject.
Let's talk about what they passing for urban farms. Yeah. Let's grow our own food. Grow our own
I'm
eggs.
down for that.
Okay. Let's do
I got
that.
a garden in my house.
Yeah. Shout out to RFK. Yeah, and Brooke Rollins for the work.
You mean
that they're
RFK?
doing. Don't,
Man,
hey,
don't.
you better
Well,
watch
no,
your mouth.
no. I ain't
Okay,
watching
come
my
on.
mouth. He ain't
Let's
even a
go.
doctor.
Is it my turn?
And he's wearing.
It
Yeah, it's
don't
your
matter.
turn. All right, yeah, I know. It don't matter here, doctor. He's telling
He's
NIH
an
and
expert.
everyone what to do.
But his long history
CDC what to do.
He's an environmentalist.
Man,
Okay,
man.
this man has sued.
I enjoyed him being on here, but no, he's not a doctor. Doctors going against it. No,
see, you can't
no.
do that. Don't be like that. Don't
be
be
like
the
what?
type to bring somebody on your show and
What?
it's all good.
No,
and then
hold on. I
'Cause
brought him
could
on the
get
show.
to come back again,
I
but if
brought
he
him
gonna
on
hate,
the
I
show.
ain't gonna be able to bring
I
him back.
brought him on the show. Hold on. I brought him on the show when he was a candidate. Now I see what he's doing there, and I don't agree.
What is he? What?
He was a candidate when you brought him
don't
over
you
here.
agree with that he's doing?
What is it with the what is it?
The autism stuff.
Exactly. Talk about what is he talking about? What's giving autism?
He was saying that autism people can't do anything in the United States. Like they can't do
no.
jobs or
You know what's
No. He said something else. I think he said the water.
You know
he said the water was doing that to him, turning him to autism.
He knows a lot, and we need to listen. First of all, what people do is they take a small clip of a speech, and they put they add their own to it. They never listen to the entire speech.
You mean like you did with
He
mine?
never
When you put mine on your page?
I didn't do that. Somebody else did that.
Somebody,
It was somebody
like
from
that?
your team
You mean
that
like
sent
that?
it to me. You need to check your
like
team.
that?
But
Like
listen,
that? No,
what
nobody on my team gave you that.
had happened was
Okay.
there was an entire speech about autism, and he wasn't speaking about all children with autism. But what I find unfortunate in our media and black media is that they are so quick to highlight those instances where it makes someone's look bad, but they never highlight the good that he's actually doing, like the partnership that they just created with NIH to actually track autism, all the studies that they're doing and putting in place now, all of these doctors that have coming together that's seeing what's going on to cause autism, to find solution. But a lot of doctors are.
Which
and that's
ones?
The problem.
I don't remember any doctors being with him.
You can't, it's no way you could be following RFK and don't know how many
Yes,
doctors
I
have it.
do.
Well, Dr. Robert Malone, who's going to be one of the guests, and he is actually one of the inventors of the MMR vaccine, and he has come out and spoken against it and said that it is caused autism in children. He invented it, and he's a doctor, a medical doctor.
Okay.
So what I'm saying is, what I don't like is, if you're going to report that, fine, but can you also report the good that we are doing? Because autism is something that impacts our community as well. And I don't remember, like when we were growing up, I don't know if we just didn't know what it was, but I don't remember all of these high numbers in autism.
Sure.
Like right now, the numbers are extremely high, especially in our community. Our community is disproportionately impacted.
We could have maybe been doing it all along. We didn't have a word for it.
Or didn't
you
know
like,
what it
get your ass
was.
upstairs and go to sleep. Sleep
Right.
it all. Like crazy ass.
Right. We could have named it anything.
Yeah.
ADHD, we didn't know. But what I'm saying is, I think that when we get past the political divide, we all want to know what's causing it and why it's impacting our children. So that should be something we should be standing together on.
But to say that fluoride is doing it in the water,
how you know it's not?
Because doctors have said it already. A couple doctors already said it wasn't.
Several
They said
doctors
no.
have.
They said no.
And it's okay to come together and say, like you say, it's okay to abort a baby. I say it's not. You got your right to your opinion, and I got mine. Can we come together and find a solution? We got to stop arguing. Some doctors may say it's not. Some doctors may say it is. Let's bring all of these doctors together, find out what the solution is, and that's what RFK is doing. And I don't understand why we would be opposed to that, knowing that it's something that impacts us disproportionately.
I don't see him bringing people together like that. I see him saying he has this fine line. He drew the line in the ground that says, hey, this is how I stay on this, and this is what we're going to try to change to get it done.
And when you say this is what we're going to try to change, what he's standing on is saying that the numbers are too high, and we need to figure out why, and we need to find a solution.
But the numbers
That's
aren't...
not something that any of us should be against. And RFK is the one person that does represent unity because he's a Democrat, has been a Democrat his entire life.
I don't care about that, yeah.
He's now an independent, and RFK represents people. If you know about the Moms for Liberty movement, the Maha Moms, these aren't people that are subscribing to a political party. These are people from all walks of life saying, my child has autism.
Okay.
My child has autism, right? And they're saying, let's figure out why.
Right. But he's saying take the fluoride out of water, and there's no proof of the fluoride's doing it. So what's
there have been several years of research of harm that fluoride has caused. Okay.
Not the amount of fluoride in normal water.
Okay, so if they take fluoride out of water, how is that going to hurt you?
I heard it wasn't good for you. The
You
doctor
heard.
said, yeah. What say that you heard? You ain't that. You have autism, child?
I heard that if they
Is your
take,
child
I
autistic?
heard that it's gonna hurt us if they take fluoride out of the water. I've never heard that we would be impacted
Yes.
if they remove fluoride. Cause somebody look up some article.
Yeah, look it
I've
up.
never heard.
Wasn't getting fluoride at home. That's why they started putting.
I've heard for years that they wanted to remove fluoride from toothpaste. I've heard that they wanted to remove it from water. There have been all type of studies about pesticides in water that have been causing
Maybe
harm
pesticide.
to you.
I agree with pesticides.
Okay,
but if they
well
say,
listen,
if
buy
say
you
no,
a bottle of
there's some
fluoride
doctor.
and drink it. Shit.
Okay,
Put
I
it
have.
in your water. Feed it
Shit.
to your children.
Fluoride
Hell,
right here.
that
Fluoride
ain't
right
gonna
here.
stop what
Okay.
RFK is doing.
All right.
RFK is not doing anything that is harming anyone. Let's just stop there.
All right. Well,
What's the next topic?
Well, you soft shoeing for him. So
Hey,
now
that's
it's your
my
turn.
dog.
All right.
All right, let's go.
It's your turn, yeah.
My turn. Let's
Okay.
talk about topics. Modern day dating, right?
Okay.
With the wave of social media, right, and everything being, I want to say, smoke screens and mirrors. Are we searching for love, or are we setting ourselves up for hurt?
Well, but it could be both. It can be both. Yeah. Sometimes when you search for love, you have blinders on. You're not paying attention to everything. First of all, we always go by aesthetically first, and that's some of the stuff. As soon as you see a girl walk down the street or a guy, you see what they look like before you get to know them and so forth, and you move forward from there. And on social media, we put our best foot forward, the way we look, to certain angles.
But with social media, everything's so fake. You got all of these
Not everything's
filters.
fake. Right,
you
you're
got
right.
people
You're
that
right.
can actually put up an entire facade about the type of life that they live.
Right.
So how do you know? You got catfishing. You got all of these things going on. Do you think that the modern day of dating, in the era that
Well, you should
grew
have some
up in,
trepidation dating from somebody online. If you see somebody online, you're following them online, you should have a little bit of trepidation before you. I just saw a video.
And the Democrats say men are women. So sometimes if you're looking and you meet somebody online, you
women.
can't really
Men are
tell.
women.
So it might look like a woman, but it's really a man. How do you decipher
Democrats.
that when
There we
it
go.
comes
How
to
did
I mean,
Democrats?
shit,
I
I'm
don't-
just saying, that's
independent-
your party.
Independent just said it.
Oh,
I didn't say it. No, I didn't
what,
tell you.
You
I
independent
told
now.
you. Yeah, I told you.
Oh, now we
I've
independent.
always told you that.
Oh.
I've always
Shit.
told you that. But I'll rock with who's right.
I was just talking about.
I'll rock with who's right.
I just want people to go on my page and look up the picture of the Women's Day history celebration in Joe Biden's White House. The only black women they had in there were big black men, and I'm talking about Medea-sized big black men. And just the ultimate disrespect. So in the day and age of social media, and we're talking about dating,
I've seen
where
pictures of-
we have an entire party
Well,
saying
hold on.
that men are
But
women.
you know
They
what's
don't
funny?
even can't even define a
Now,
woman.
all right, here we go.
How do you
I saw
know?
a picture. Okay, no, since you want to bring Joe Biden up, I remember when Trump runs behind him, but not this turn. The first time, you didn't see a Negro anywhere behind him. Okay, never.
I
And you
seen
still
niggas in the White
still
House.
tapped in. What, 2, 3?
They had wigs
compared
on.
to white folks?
They had wigs
on,
on.
man. Come on,
they
man.
Had wigs
Exactly,
on.
serving. They were
was
serving.
trying to convince
Serve.
her.
I
They
signed your
had
shoes, Mr.
Billy
Trump.
Porter up there in the White House
Yeah,
with
that's
Joe
very much.
Biden. He was on Sesame Street in a
Yep,
dress,
yep,
teaching your children
yep,
how to suck dick.
Yep. I don't know
Okay,
about
let's
that
go.
now.
What's
I
the
don't know
next
about-
topic?
No, okay.
All right, your turn.
All right, since we're talking about dating and all that, what you feel about that Shannon Sharpe and that white girl?
Ooh, first of all,
Don't be capping.
listen, first of all,
First of
and I don't want nobody to say I'm hating, but something
you
has to be wrong when if a 56-year-old man is entertaining a 19-year-old female. Anyway, to me personally, I just don't see the mental connection. It has
That's
to
the
be strictly about some type of sexual attraction.
And it is.
It's all about sex. It's
But
nothing
it
else
is.
there. So that makes him, for one, a predator.
No, it doesn't.
Okay, hold on. Let me finish. When we go to adding what's going on here, because for one, 9 times out of 10, you are very intelligent.
I am.
If you run into a 19-year-old woman, right, chances
dang.
are you're able to manipulate her. She's not as wise. She's not as mature, right? You're able to manipulate that. And if you are someone who has money, like Shannon Sharpe, you're definitely able to sway your way in and out of that situation, use your money, right, to encourage or discourage or whatever people to do whatever you want. You hire people for a job all the time. I think that Shannon Sharpe should have been much smarter in how he moved. And it makes me think about your friend, our friend Monique, when she went on his show and told him, you know, straight up, like, you need to be married. A man of your stature needs to be married. This bringing back in traditional values in modern day and the way that we out here moving. You got the 19-year-old white girl coming out. You got the assistant, the little boy coming out. Like, it's too much. And I mean, like, are we going to put a cap on what we're defining as relationships, or are we just all over the place, in and out of bed with anybody and everybody?
All right, see, I listened to you. I didn't interrupt you.
All right,
so here's my turn with that. First of all, the problem with most older women, y'all are the ones complaining. Okay,
Oh.
old heads. Let me go. Ain't no young girl complaining about that scenario. It's the old heads. Now.
Okay.
All right. So here's
don't
the thing.
sleep on Auntie though, baby.
I'm not saying.
Yeah,
okay,
don't
okay.
sleep.
I
I'm a
hear
young
you.
man's
Let me-
dream.
I know that's right.
Yeah,
but
I know
let me
that's
get mine
right.
out. So
Okay,
here's
let's
the
go.
thing.
Okay.
So here's the thing. Women look at when a man gets with a woman and has sex, it has to have some kind of meaningful relationship. It might have to turn into marriage or have a good conversation. Sometimes it's just a sexual relationship. There's some women who young girls who just want dick and cash and keep it moving. You know what I'm saying? There's some guys down here, you watching this right now, you have a side chick or girl, just a girl that you knocking off or vice versa. Or you know, like women have sometimes a dude, they some dick, they're good friends, but they just fucking. That's it.
Yeah.
There's no hanging out and doing no more than that.
That's it.
Okay. So when somebody, why can't you be 56? She's legal, hold on, she's 19. At 18 and 19, you can fight in the military and go to war and get yourself killed.
I'm going to tell you the difference between a young woman. Okay, go ahead, go.
At that age, you can go and die for this country. And everybody just claps for you, oh yeah. So if you want to fuck for some money, what's wrong with that? And because he's 56 and she's 19, yes, the only thing they have in common is sex. And sometimes it's just so
no, he wants sex and she wants money.
Hold on.
Okay.
Well, okay, but and that's
All right,
fine.
let's go.
Fair exchange,
Okay.
no robbery.
Go.
So are you okay if she's 19 and the guy's 23 and he manipulates her and shows her some shit and gets the booty and leaves? He's only 4 years different. It's okay. It's still a dick and vagina going together. It shouldn't matter the age unless it's illegal. It's illegal.
Okay, it's
not illegal at 19.
It's a penis and a vagina going together, but it's also a level of wisdom and maturity, right? Because there is a difference. Hold on, there is a difference between that 19-year-old girl and that old woman, as you say when you refer to me. Me, I don't need your money. You understand? So 9 times out of 10, you aren't gonna find yourself in a situation with me where I'm basically extorting you, okay? And I'm ruining your whole career, okay? Because you wanted to have a good time. Because at the age of 19, 9 times out of 10, I'm not stable. I'm looking for my next come up. And any man that I see that's dumb enough to allow me to get 10 million where I'm straight for life from one sexual encounter, guess what? She came up. So the roles have reversed. Now you got the pimp and you got the hoe. In this instance, Shannon Sharpe is the hoe, and he has lost everything because he is not thinking with this head. He's thinking with the head in between
Would
his
you
legs.
be okay if she was 40 taking them $10 million doing the same shit because she's 40? Like, that's okay.
I wouldn't be okay with that.
Okay, so
I'm not okay
hold
with
on.
her doing it at 19, but I'm
not
just
about
speaking on the man's perspective
so
to not get caught up.
it's not about the age, it's about the jobs, the maliciousness, whatever she's doing.
It's about your chances of getting fucked.
But hold on, but you can get fucked with a 40-year-old woman, you can get fucked with a 65-year-old woman.
That's true.
You can get fucked with a lot of women, okay? Or vice versa with a man. So it shouldn't be about the age, it should be about the act. The act is what you're talking about.
It should be
about being manipulated.
It should be about both, because if in my mind, and this is just my personal opinion, I'm 48 years old. If I go messing with a boy that's 19 years old that don't have nothing going for himself, all he got is a long dick to put me to sleep at night. I'm looking for trouble.
Okay, well,
okay.
I don't know if you're looking for trouble.
I mean, and long dick will lead you into a bad place, right? And I mean, you have to be selective in our choices. So it's like, what am I getting in the bed with? And a man like Shannon Sharpe, a man of his stature, should be making wiser decisions just because of who he is like me. I ain't as big as Shannon Sharpe, right? I got a little bit of emotion out here. I know I can't be moving a certain type of way in these streets just because of who I am. Neither can you.
Right.
You are my friend. I know you probably ways that other people don't know you. I would never expect to see you caught up in no damn situation where somebody is extorting you like this because you wouldn't make that type of decision.
Right.
So as a man with money, y'all just got to be smarter.
But I also believe he a big old country boy. He's just now seeing some money and some more fame at another level.
Shannon them been had money. What you talking about?
Hold on. No,
Shannon older than me. What is you talking about?
Pause on that. Pause on that because y'all don't know what y'all talking about. Because Shannon even said he made more money on that Cat Williams interview than he made playing football. So he had decent money, but he's on he's on another level. He's about to get $100 million. He got way more fame than he had before when he's wearing that helmet. Yes, he's on ESPN, but he's way more popular now and way more richer than he was.
What just happened?
I'm saying, so you got to be, but he a country boy, so he's excited to be out there. Oh, everybody liking me so much.
Shannon Sharpe is someone that's been.
Shannon
Sharpe is someone that's been in the highlight, and again,
not the way he's been lately.
Well, listen, it don't matter.
There's white folks who know him and they didn't know him before.
Listen, decisions.
I think he made some bad moves. Yes,
he made some bad moves. And
but I have to understand that young 19-year-old got that tight.
She said. What she say? She said, "Give me I want that big black baby in me."
I know.
Like,
oh man. Oof.
He was trying to put it in there.
And he choking it and put it in the booty
hole. What the hell, Pierre? There is too much information.
Well, I'm telling.
I heard it. Is it my turn?
Too much information. There you go. That's what part of the problem was. Shit, that's why she getting that $10 million. That's called booty hole reconstruction.
Oh God.
Yeah. So go ahead. All right. So. Well, I heard you got 10. He offered her 10. And you know what? This ain't the first allegation. He had a couple of allegations also.
Listen.
The boy don't know how. He's just what do you call it? A nymphomaniac. That's all. He just likes sex a lot.
Hey, you got to be selective.
You're right. All
Get
right.
you somebody that's going to ride with you and shut up.
Your turn.
Yeah. So recently in Atlanta, we all, I guess, experienced the tragic death of rapper Young Scooter. And some people were saying that it was set up by police. Other people were saying that it was just a mistake. We don't really know what happened, but we haven't seen an uprise to it. What is your opinion on music and the culture and how it relates to the tragic death that we keep seeing of these rappers? And I mean, we're not even talking about just Scooter. If we just want to talk about Trouble, if we want to talk about Rich Homie Quan, we lost so many of them just this year alone, and we aren't even halfway into the year.
Are you talking about non-black on black violence? Because these young boys are killing each other.
Oh, okay. I just wanted
to. The YNs are killing each other left and right.
Okay.
They diss each other on a rap. Because see, when I grew up, rappers emulated gangsters. Now gangsters are rapping. You know what I'm saying? Gang members are now becoming rappers. That's why some of the rappers sound like trash, some of it shit. You know what I'm saying? Because there's not really rappers who form their real. Now they got some money. They go into a studio. Now there's making a record is easier. You can put yourself on YouTube. So you're really getting street dudes, straight up, people that didn't come through the form of like a record company. You know, we had to be kind of vetted and stuff. So you're seeing those, and it's almost like the beef is pushing the record sales. It's all about beef. You know, when I was coming up, we may have had one or two beefs. You know what I'm saying? Unfortunately, one of the biggest ones we lost with Tupac and Biggie. But that was the only, that was really one of the only ones. Even Jay-Z and Nas pulled back.
Right.
But these young kids now, if you rap about somebody you don't like, your group, your crew over there, it's a lot of that. And what bothers me is I feel like white folks just sitting back laughing.
White folks sitting back laughing. We got our young men rapping about killing each other. We got our young women rapping about having abortions. We have an absolute 100% deaf culture. Well, you can look it up.
Okay.
We just have a deaf culture, and I think that in a lot of ways, the music that we promote, the images that we promote, the things that we glorify, is definitely contributing to that. So, when we say Black Lives Matter, does that apply to us or just to white Republicans?
No, I mean, it should apply to us. But when I see these young boys acting foolish, a lot of them, like you said, don't have fathers in their homes. And I was lucky enough to grow up with a father. I really was. And you can see the difference between some people who have fear of authority, to oppose to someone who doesn't, who just, a woman has 2 or 3 kids, she can't keep her hand on all of them. These young boys running out, he's 15, 16 years old. She probably has a job and she has to work crazy hours and so forth. So the boys are going to get raised in the street, and these boys find other crews to, other guys in the neighborhood. And sometimes they make them join. You know, if you're gonna live in this neighborhood, you're gonna be either us or them. You know, ain't gonna be like I'm gonna walk to school, mind my business. Because I believe in my heart, most of these young boys do not want violence. They don't want. They would want to get away from it. But if they live in this area, in the areas like that, all it takes is 2 or 3 dudes scaring 10 and 11 other guys.
Especially when it's glorified.
Without a doubt,
All right,
you know.
your turn.
So yeah.
All right, let's go.
All right, this is kind of we'll see. Do you? Okay. Back to him, but it's gonna be quick.
Oh Lord.
No. It's a good one. You'll like this one.
I do not work for President Donald J. Trump.
But I have a question.
Listen,
I have a question.
You want what is advice?
No.
Okay, let's go. Let's go.
Did you got a wedding ring on?
No.
I can see why not. Shit.
Listen, going through a divorce.
Good Lord.
Yeah.
All right. Do you think that Trump will pardon Puffy or R. Kelly?
No.
Before he gets out. Not now. One of them. Not even P. Diddy. And P. Diddy's a New Yorker, and he kind of came up.
Who advocating for a pardon for P. Diddy or R. Kelly? Who within Trump's administration is advocating for a pardon for Diddy?
No, it's not right now. Not right now.
Is you advocating for him?
No, well,
I ain't heard nobody advocating for Diddy.
But at the end, when people get out of office, they start doing all kind of stuff. He did his boy Buchanan. What's his name, Buchanan and stuff. He did some slicing people.
Have any type of human trafficking charges? I mean, I don't know what's going on. I'm not in the files. But if it's anything, tied to what Epstein is doing, like, I listen. I mind my business. I don't know what's going. Yeah, but do Kodak Black have any of those?
Yes, ma'am.
He had sexual charges for what?
For raping a girl in a hotel.
Was he convicted?
He was on trial.
Okay, so he
Kodak
obviously
Black.
he wasn't convicted. But I'm talking about somebody convicted of any type of sexual. And my choice is to stay away from the Diddy case, the R. Kelly case. Like, I don't get involved in that, because I don't know all the ramifications. I will say that in both of those cases, I don't support any type of, sexual abuse of anyone, but I do know a lot of these girls, sometimes they be on the cusp, they teenagers, they acting grown, they being in places that they don't need to be in. A lot of this stuff, they have cooperated. Like, I am totally against anything that involves children or something that was done against someone without their permission. Anything outside of that, like the way that we've gone in society when it comes to just everybody just freely having sex with everybody, that I really feel like that's their business. So I personally don't advocate for any type of cases that involve any type of sexual abuse. I have a personal prejudice against that because I am a childhood sexual abuse survivor. But I personally stay out of those type of lanes. But when it does come to R. Kelly and P. Diddy, I think my heart lies with their children and how these cases have been, exploited in the media, how their fathers have been portrayed, true or not true. This is something that those children have to live with every single day on a daily basis. So anything that I would have to say or any compassion that I would have would go to the children that ain't have nothing to do with it but have to live with it.
Okay, that's good.
My turn.
All right.
These protests, let's talk about it. Real protests or a reality show? Because I'm just saying, I've been in Atlanta my whole life. Okay. I rode by Georgia State the other day. It was a bunch of Pakistanis out there talking about free Pakistan. Now, Georgia State just happens to be right in the hood. They started building Georgia State up right in Summerhill. This is a predominantly black community. I've never in my life, in the 48 years of my living and being a resident of Atlanta, Georgia, ever seen any Pakistanis protesting anywhere, even on a college campus or in the middle of the street. Now, a lot of the things that we are seeing, we have not seen before. Okay. Real protests, paid protests, or propaganda.
All right, but, well, you said propaganda. I mean, they asked them, they probably have a valid reason why they're protesting. Are you saying that because they're Pakistanis, they may not be having a real one?
Well, what I'm saying is I have a daughter that's in college. And fortunately for me, my daughter is very intelligent. She ran a full scholarship to all of the Ivy League schools in the nation. She's now at MIT. Nice. But for parents of American children that are paying for their children to go to college, are you paying or sending your child to school to be on the front line of a protest of something that really does not impact them? Right? I'm sending my child to school to get educated. My daughter is at MIT. I don't want my daughter calling me FaceTime, talking about she in the middle of a protest, talking about free Pakistan. Because when I ask her to educate me on Pakistan or what's going on over there, or who she know over there, or do she even got citizenship to go over there to help them people, like who in Pakistan is over here advocating for her or whatever, she doesn't have an answer. So I want my daughter to focus on her education, what she wants to do for herself as an American citizen, and what she chooses to do for her people, which are American citizens right here. I just believe that, like,
American
we
citizens. Hold on,
fighting for everybody but ourselves.
What's that white boy name? We just talked about Elon Musk. He's an American citizen.
Yeah,
so
he is.
they could be Pakistanis could be American citizen. You roll for Elon. So
but
what's
you
wrong with them? They're American
advocating
citizens.
for free Pakistan. You don't live in Pakistan. Free your own people. I hate the fact that we want to take on everybody's fight and we are not even free ourselves. We got homeless people.
So
you weren't
down for
right across the street
for
from the
apartheid. You wasn't
protest.
down for apartheid.
Listen,
you weren't down for the apartheid.
That ain't got nothing to do with me.
Oh God! What the hell?
I'm right here and I'm trying to help the people that are right here.
I agree with that.
If I'm a representative,
I do agree with that.
If I'm running for office, if I'm running for a seat in Atlanta, Georgia, let's say when I ran against John Lewis and I was running for Nikema Williams, I was running for the people of Atlanta. I wasn't running for nobody to free no Pakistan or send no money to Ukraine when I got mothers and babies living on the street, homeless with nowhere to go.
That's true.
Why do I want my child participating in a free Pakistan protest at Georgia State in the middle of the street of Atlanta, Georgia, when right across the street, aunt sleeping on the floor,
right.
auntie sleep, like these people have nowhere to sleep. We are riding
Clean your house
past
up first.
them.
Clean your house up first.
Free your own people. You can't pour from an empty cup. You mean to tell me the only fight we got right now is for the right to abort our kids? Y'all sitting up here fighting for abortion. We got so many other issues that we have just let slide by. How is that at the forefront? That's the issue that I have, and let's go. It's your turn.
Damn, no, I mean, shit.
Paid protests, because our black people really own that. Let's be for real.
Black people is on break.
Damn.
Talk about it.
Right.
Tired. We ain't doing, because let's talk about it. Even with everything that went on in the last administration, did black people get what they was fighting for? We had a whole Black Lives Matter movement, right? We from black men that were murdered by police officers. This started with Obama administration. If we're gonna go back to Michael Brown and Tamir Rice and Sandra Bland and Eddie Graves, like all of these people, this happened under the Obama administration, and he's the one that signed the Blue Alert law, the one that protects the police. Then up under the Biden administration, we had 13 black people shot in Buffalo, New York, in a grocery store.
So nothing happened when Trump was in office.
I'm talking about both administrations right now.
You went Obama. You went to Obama to Biden. You skipped over
George
Trump.
Floyd.
And during Trump, okay, so during
George
Trump,
Floyd
right?
and Trump made it a federal hate crime.
Trump
made it a federal hate crime, and Trump spoke out.
And he spoke for black.
He spoke out against
for policemen to have what do you call it? Like
hold
immunity. Police have immunity.
This is after
killing niggas and shit, man.
What did Joe Biden do?
Oh, God.
You had 13. You had 13. At least he made it a federal hate crime. What happened to George Floyd? Yeah. You had 10 black people murdered in Buffalo, New York. You didn't even get a statement from Joe Biden. You didn't even get a statement from Kamala Harris. You didn't get a statement from Barack Obama or Michelle Obama.
That Trump had
I'm
police
immunity.
These black folks, watch
black people that were murdered in Buffalo, New York while shopping at the grocery store.
I remember that.
Okay?
Terrible.
Not one statement from the people that claim they represent us. So this is my question. Regardless of Trump, regardless of Joe Biden, regardless of anybody, I'm talking to my community. What have we gotten for that? Ditch both parties, become independent, let's unite, okay? Let's unite and do what we need to do for us.
I'm down for that.
Stop fighting for Ukraine. Stop fighting for all of these other people while we sitting up here believing we got to abort our children because we can't afford them. Let's fix our problems first, and then we can move on. That's all I'm asking.
God damn. You came and you did it again.
Always.
Jesus Christ. What do you have
to go.
What do you have coming up?
Well, our first inaugural Life and Legacy Gala is happening this Saturday, and I'm sure this is probably going to air after, but we are having an all-star event where we are celebrating life. We're celebrating our recognition from the Fulton County Commissioners, the proclamation we received for, at the time, saving 68 babies. We are now up to baby 94 So that is 94 people, 90 black people, okay, that are gonna grow up and give birth to more black people. So let's get for real about this movement. Let's just stop fighting, y'all. Go to AuntieAngie'sHouse.org. Auntie Angie's House is not about pro-choice or pro-life. This is just about helping the women that remind us of our mothers, the women that fought hard to take care of us and they didn't have all the support. This is our time to give back to women that are experiencing those same things, and we know they love us. So it ain't about politics with me no more. It's just about us pulling these sides together and doing what we can to move our people forward.
Girl, I love it when you come on, and so do the fans.
Hey.
Yeah, they love it, man. I tell you, I appreciate all that you do, you know, really, and your stance, and that you stand up and speak up. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people don't do that. They hide, and at least you on the forefront, you know, of what you believe. You know, like you said, I love you for coming on and just with the person that you are. So I appreciate it. Like I said, we ain't always going to agree. Sometimes we're going to agree to disagree. And so we did this time again today. But again, I thank you. It was very eventful. Fuck Trump. But the rest of us.
Trump, don't listen to him. I love you, big dog.
Yeah. I know you do.
Hey, man. Any white man that's willing to give me a pardon and a second chance on life is okay with me.
I know that's right.
Any white man that's helping me save my little black babies that they want to border is all right with me. I don't give a any white man that's helping me free black men from prison is all right with me.
I know that's right.
Let's go. Shout out to my dog RFK. You're doing a great job.
Right there. Give it up for Miss Angela Stanton King, y'all. Give it up. Again, another great episode of Pierre's Panic Room. Thank you so much. I told you this is year 7 though, man. I appreciate y'all supporting. Leave it in the comments. I know y'all going to. It's exciting. Let me read some of them, y'all. And thank y'all for feeding me. And y'all for feeding me. So, thank you very much, and I'll holler at y'all later.
My name is Angela Stanton King, and once again, I've survived Pierre's Panic Room.
If you like that show, like, subscribe, and comment below. You know, hit the notification bell. Hit the subscribe button, man. We want you around. Appreciate it.